Hi, Craig Urquhart here with another one of my Berlin conversations. And today I'm pleased to have my dear friend Pasquale Plastino. He's a screenwriter and a theatrical director, and he is now living between Rome and Berlin. And we have been friends for many, many years. Isn't that right?
Yeah, really many years.
Yeah. How did we?
Don't say how many.
Well, we met in Rome many years ago.
Yeah.
And that was a wonderful evening. It was a beautiful dinner party, and we had great conversations.
Yeah.
So
we start to our friendship in this way,
yeah,
just through the conversation, and we had so many things to share in that moment, and it's incredible how this friendship
lasts.
Yeah. It's
and
really,
now we're even
really beautiful.
We're more closer than we ever have been.
And I can say that maybe, in a way, the fact that I'm here now in Berlin, it's a little bit linked to you too, because
I think
you were already here, and I came here, do you remember, for just a visit of a few days, and I was thinking, oh my God, Berlin could be a place where to stay, where to live.
And you're like me. I lived in New York for so many years, and you've lived in Rome for so many years.
And Paris.
Yeah. But Paris was only for 3 or 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
And you lived in Venice for a while.
Yeah, my university, my studies.
But it was also, you needed a change of scene in a way for your own creativity,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, see, because you've had quite a wonderful career in Rome as a scriptwriter for films. For Carlo Verdone, you've worked with mostly, and he is considered by many sort of the Woody Allen of
we
Italy.
Can say that, with all the differences.
But he's...
But for Italy, it's considered because it's a kind of comedy which is a little bit sophisticated, not trashy. And so.
Yeah, I remember flying to Dubai and on Emirates, and there was all your films.
Really?
Yeah, it was the first time I'd ever really had a chance to see them, because they don't get distributed in the United States.
Because
it's so Italian.
They're linked to the country.
Yeah.
When a comic is linked to the language, to the slang, it's very difficult to export these kind of movies outside, because it's not the English language.
Right.
And so, or they need to dub it, or to put undertitles, and
you almost said untertitles.
You
almost spoke German.
Yeah, you're right. Untertitel. Our wonderful German.
Remember that time we were out to lunch and we were trying to speak German, and the waitress just looked at us like, who are these people? So as a screenwriter, what is the process? How does that work with the director? Does he come with the idea, or do you generate the ideas together?
Yeah.
Or?
To find a story is just the most difficult part of this work, to find the right story. And in the case of Carlo Verdone, which is very popular, and he can't do a certain kind of stuff, you have to find the right story, which is popular, and at the same time it must be not so simple or so banal. And in the case of Verdone, which is, he is now an actor who is almost 70, and he did more than 30 movies. To find always the original story, it's really, really a big problem, because he did so many things, he did so many professions, so many jobs in all the movies. So you have always to find the right solution to mix, the things. And this is the most difficult part, to find the story. Then the script is maybe the script, with the dialogues, it's maybe the most simple part.
But you can say that, but for looking from the outside, I can't imagine that being simple. But you know, then do you work on the scripts together? You present it to him, and then he makes his comments.
Yeah. Now, for example, there is a new movie coming out in February. We just discussed for months the idea, and then we wrote the script in 6 weeks, not more than that. And now we are again thinking about what kind of story will be the next movie.
So you've had a long working relationship with him.
Because
So
now
you have
it's a kind of marriage.
Yeah, it's a rhythm that you have, that you work together. So that's terrific.
And because he's linked to the industry. So his movies are very important for the Italian industry because they are very successful and they need at least one movie of him, let's say each 1 year and a half. Just because, I mean, it's good for the industry, the Italian industry.
And the Italian public expects it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, and you've worked with other directors, haven't you?
Yes, I work with little movies because I mean this is considered, you know, the best category even for money because if you are successful, of course you make a lot of money and it's nice to work sometimes for young people who can profit of your name to get money from the institutions, and even it's good for me to explore other dimensions because otherwise always comedy. I mean, life is not so nice sometimes.
All the time. Yes.
Yeah.
But you've also worked with some really famous directors.
I worked with Bernardo Bertolucci in the period when I was assistant director because, as you know, I'm coming from the theater. I was a theater director. This is my real formation. Do you say formation?
Well, that's...
I mean, I attended the School of Piccolo Teatro in Milan, and so let's say that when I was young, I wanted to be theater director. And then through a lot of experiences in Paris, in Berlin too. I mean, with Peter Stein in Schaubühne, it was the 77.
We weren't going to talk about.
I have decided that I wanted to do a certain kind of theater, which was not the theater, the commercial theater, and I realized that I couldn't do that in Italy. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm maybe accusing myself. I was not so maybe sure of myself, so I just left and I said, what can I do now? And I said, I like very much cinema too. And so I started, and for the years I was in the theater, it was really very easy to go into the magic world of the cinema, because I mean the magic world of the cinema is made many times by dwarfs, and so I was really very considerate, and that's the reason why I could be without any other waiting list, first assistant with Bernardo Bertolucci.
What was the film?
I mean, I worked for Sheltering Sky.
Wonderful film. Yeah.
Little Buddha, and then I was first assistant with Stealing Beauty, which was shot in Tuscany with the young Liv Tyler and Jeremy Irons, and that was really the movie where I was the first assistant director. In the other, I was one of the three.
But still, you were.
They were really very big movies. So,
but it must have been an amazing experience to work
Absolutely.
with a man like him. You maintained friendship with him until he passed away.
Yeah, because this is the most important. That was a friendship who lasted just until his death.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
It was really part of my life from the 80s, let's say. But at the same time, it was the occasion to understand that I didn't want to do the assistant in movies, that I wanted to write. And so Carlo Verdone gave me the occasion because he just trusted me, and we started in the 95. And I wrote from 95 all his movies until now.
So you can take me out to lunch then.
Yeah.
But recently you have been directing or doing dramaturgy.
You
did
yeah. I mean,
you did an opera recently.
It's very nice what's happening in the last years, but just because of Berlin, because it's very important.
So why don't we talk? Why did you end up in Berlin, and why are you in Berlin?
In a way, it was a little bit a stupid thing because I came here in the 2009, and it was the worst period Italy, in my opinion, had in its political history. We were at the top of Berlusconi age, and everybody wanted to escape, from that kind of atmosphere. And I said, okay, and I wanted to write a book. And I said, I have to go for a sabbatic year somewhere. And I didn't want to go to Paris because for me it was the most natural thing, natural place. But I said, I want a place where I don't understand what the people are saying outside. And I said, Berlin, because anyway, it's a town full of cultural activities, because I like to go to theater, to movies, to the opera, and concert, etc. And so
a great film industry here.
It's
an interesting.
They have money.
Yeah, okay.
They have money, but they're not so interesting anymore.
Okay,
and that's really crazy. I mean, in a way, that's weird. Anyway. When I came here, I was really in love with the town. I mean, I could feel that I belonged to this town. I don't know why. And I've decided to buy an apartment just after this year. And so I conceived that I could live between Berlin and Rome. And that's what I did. And I'm so grateful to this town that I conceived to do a project for the town, and that because that's the reason why I'm at this occasion when I bought my apartment. In front of my apartment there was a cemetery.
I live in
Monumentenstraße was the back of the St. Mark's Friedhof. And I discovered that the Grimm brothers were buried there. So I said, during winter, let's go to see this place. And during this visit, I just went to the coffee. There was a coffee at the entrance.
There's a little coffee shop.
Yeah, a little coffee shop. I said, oh my God, that's very weird. And I went inside, and it was very cold. It was snowing outside, and it was so cozy, so even with a bad taste, if you want. But it was really strange to see something like that in a place like a
cemetery.
And I remember I took a cup of tea, and while waiting for this, I was attracted by a black book on a shelf, and I started to read it, and there was the photocopies inside of every man, woman buried there, linked to the gay movement in Berlin.
It was the first cemetery that allowed AIDS victims to be buried there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I said, what's that? And they were all artists, painters, choreographers, dancers, actors. And I said, oh my God, I have to go into this story and I discovered the story which is behind, and I said, this is something I should tell with a movie. And thanks, with the help of, because with my German I couldn't do that easily, and I asked help to our friend Stephane Riethauser. We did the movie together, really a poor movie, I mean without any money,
no financing,
but it became, like a little bijou. And we had many, it went really good. I mean, we got 2 prizes in little festivals for...
well, it's a very touching movie.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were filming it, I actually came sometimes with Stefan and you for the filming. And there's a children's cemetery within the Friedhof, which is very interesting. It's very sad, but it's also very touching.
Yes, but... thanks to the guy who organized that, the concept of death becomes very light. It's not heavy. It's not sad.
No, because it's it's like almost like a children's playground.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's a wonderful movie. What's the name of the movie?
Garten der Sterne, Garden of Stars. I'm very proud to have done it. Because it's like a kind of, I give back to the town, to Berlin, something, a little thing of me, So now I feel, more, I can live in Berlin because I did something for Berlin.
Well, you did.
It's a stupid thing, but in a way, it works like that.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful movie, and it has some real Berlin. Other things besides the story, you have the narrator is a famous Berlin character.
Oh yeah, because I wanted a voice, because I mean the link of all the stories is a fairy tale of Grimm, and this fairy tale is played. I wanted a voice who was linked to the story of Berlin. That story, the story of the 80s, the 70s, and I wanted Nina Hagen, I remember, because I met his impresario, but he said, you don't have money, so she will do that for you, probably, but she will not come the day you booked the studio for the recording studio, and you will lose the little money you have. So I don't advise you to. And I said, okay, I agree. And I met during my different evening in Berlin this wonderful person, Zsa Zie de Paris. She's an incredible, amazing woman, very smart, very intelligent. She was in Berlin since 70s. She was linked to the story of all the nightclubbing in Berlin.
Oh, she's a famous character.
Yeah, she was one of the stars of Madame Arthur. Of course, she's a woman, but she was, of course, a transsexual. And she was linked to the story of David Bowie in Berlin, blah, blah, all and who better than Zsa Zie? And the voice of Zsa Zie is really, really something.
She's amazing.
She's really...
We just heard her at the Komische Oper. She's in a concert production there, and she stole the show. I mean, other singers were opera singers and everything, but she walks out in this green dress with a boa that you want to just take from her, and she's just such a stage presence, and she's such a lovely person. She lives in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you should have a meeting with her.
Yeah, so we see her sometimes downstairs at the cafe, and we always wave.
A Berlin conversation.
Oh, we will.
With her.
We'll try.
I mean,
we'd love to. Yeah, because what a story.
Because she can say a lot of things.
I mean, she's seen it all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible. So what are your upcoming projects?
Well, beside movies, the 19th of January, that's why it's always linked to Germany, not to Berlin, but I have now a career as that dramaturg for ballet, because the dance needs to be again a little bit narrative, maybe, after all the decades of abstract. They need stories. I mean, they need lines who can give ideas to the choreographer and the dancers to tell a story. And the 19 in Stuttgart, there is the King Lear, made by only one dancer, and he's the star of the. He's 78 and is the farewell to the stage, and so I composed a kind of a drawing of Lear for him, and I don't see, because he's rehearsing in this day with the choreographer Mauro Bigonzetti, and we'll see.
And who is the dancer?
Egon Madsen.
He's had a
Egon
long
Madsen,
career. Yeah.
He was really one of
he worked best with, he actually worked with John Neumeier in Hamburg.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Incredible. Exactly. Yeah. And John is still working too. It's amazing.
Yeah. All those old choreographers are incredible, like Merce Cunningham.
Right.
I remember when he was just coming from a place to another of the stage, just doing nothing, but he was something.
He was something, yeah. He was. It was just his 100th birthday, also recently. So amazing genius, and he worked with John Cage all the time. Incredible.
Yeah.
We just don't have that much anymore. That kind of team, team collaboration.
Because I mean, they are
gone. Yes,
gone.
It's just
now it doesn't exist anymore. This kind of collaborations between artists, I think, and just regarding this aspect, Berlin has somewhere the idea that people want to work and to cooperate and to work together, like a little bit like in the 70s,
right? Like
because it's a little bit 70s. I mean, it was 70s because Berlin changed a lot.
It keeps changing, yeah.
And it's not anymore so. It becomes, gentrificated, like all the other capitals. We'll see.
But I do like how Berliners try and keep a sense of Berlin. Like when they try and open a Subway sandwich shop, they blow it up. Like they did in Kreuzberg, Okay, we don't want this in our neighborhood.
Not in my yard.
Right, I love that, And you do in Berlin. You still have neighborhoods that have all these wonderful shops and creative people, and each neighborhood has a different feel. I mean, you live in Schöneberg, I'm in Charlottenburg. Our friend Stephane lives in Kreuzberg, and we have friends in Friedrichshain, and they're all different feels, and so it's a very, I find it a very complicated but also fun city, because you can go and experience something completely different in 20 minutes. And it's because the public transportation is so great. It works. And it's such a flat city, so it's very easy for people to bike, especially when you get to be our age.
I'm a little bit afraid of the, how do you say, monopattini?
Oh, I don't like those things. The motor scooters. No, those are dangerous, and people think they're toys, and they're not toys.
It's a new fashion.
I know. Hopefully it will fade away very quickly. Oh my gosh. So, well, you have to go back to Rome.
Yeah, next week, but I'm coming back.
Good.
For the spring, summer.
Oh, wonderful. It's a great time to be in Berlin, spring and summer.
Yeah.
I mean, Rome is a little nicer at this time of year.
Yeah, for the weather, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, Rome is beautiful in the spring, but there's just too many tourists now.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, Pasquale, it's been wonderful to sit here and talk with you. I mean, we do it all the time anyway, but it's great that we can share with other people.
Absolutely.
And it's also wonderful for me to actually know a little bit more about your process of screenwriting and how that works, because our friendship is based on friendship, and I write my music and you write your screenplays, but we don't often talk about the process. And
no, not really, because maybe we don't need.
We don't need, yeah. So, but it's great, and I never thought after that dinner party we'd still be friends to this day. It's been quite a journey and a wonderful one. So thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, and we see each other soon. Okay?
Yeah.
Promise? Okay, great.
Let's get thinking.
Okay. I'll leave that in. Okay. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please be sure you like the show and subscribe to it so you don't miss any of the upcoming interesting guests I will be having and sharing with you. And do visit my website, www.craigurquhart.com, to learn more about Berlin Conversations, my music, and be able to download some of my music for your pleasure. So thank you so much, and we will see you at the next Berlin Conversations.